if we could address you directly right now.
Everything comes full circle.
That's number one.
I don't tell him what questions to ask me.
There are a lot of people around town that have the same question.
Brush my teeth. I'm a good wash in the morning.
I can't confirm or deny.
Just keep going a little bit longer here, Mike. Keep going a little bit longer.
And welcome back here. We are at the Carrabba's Italian Grill, the exclusive Q&A part here on the QSportsTalk.com. So as people get their notifications that we're streaming and the cameras are on and the mics are on here at Carrabba's, you can log in and say hi and then ask some questions in the stream chat here, Red, and we'll get this thing going. But yeah, just a cold, pretty, one of the first things that people were talking about when I came into Carrabba's is asking me, as if I have any say in it, can you make it stop snowing?
No. I think it did. No? Is it still going?
It's kind of hanging. It's
slowed it down.
Slowed it down a little bit.
Slowed it down.
Before I came here, Coach, I was watching on the HBO that documentary, We Beat the Dream Team. Have you heard about this?
Is that the French? Is that the?
It was the 1992 Dream Team.
Oh.
With, all of those guys, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic, and Chuck Daly was the coach.
Yeah, I remember
and
that team.
They steamrolled everybody. They won like 14 games between the Olympics and the pre-Olympic thing by 30 points. Nobody was even close. But the documentary is about the select team that they practiced against.
That's right, yeah.
That beat them in
close
practice.
Scrimmage.
It was a close scrimmage.
Talking about practice.
But yeah,
You're talking about practice.
But there's video of it,
right.
and it's a compelling documentary.
Yeah.
And Coach K, who was part of the coaching staff, I was saying that Coach Daly orchestrated the whole thing to show these guys, hey,
get it together.
You can get beat.
You can get beat.
But everybody else on the team, on the select team, is like, go watch the tape. They were playing. You know, I mean, it was,
Yeah, we beat them.
We beat them. We beat them 62 to 54.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, practice.
It was good. Practice. Just practice.
That's funny.
But if you get a chance, it's on HBO. But it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good watch there.
I'm sure on my many flights that I have coming up in the next couple of months, I'll watch that one.
If you have a question here for Coach Autry, you can log in here on the QSportsTalk.com. For those who are there already, if you want to chat and say hi, first question up. And a lot of these you wouldn't even know the answer, might not know anyway at this point, but the chances of Donnie returning next year and some of the other guys, you probably don't.
Yeah, we haven't had those discussions yet. It's just, you got to finish out the season. And obviously, I think you're talking about a player like Donnie, obviously, we've seen this before, a guy as talented as he is and obviously on the radar of a lot of employees at that next level,
Yes.
I think, or he has to go through his process, and and like everyone else, he has a process to go through, and everyone has a process now.
And there's a and a team too.
Yeah, and a team has a process, and the program has a process,
and everything else.
Yeah, it's just a lot of processes in today's world.
The big process. So go finish out the season, and then the process.
And the process starts. Yeah.
And then you'll know, and then everybody else know.
Yeah. When I know, I'll let everybody else know for sure.
Pass it along as soon as you can.
Oh yeah.
This one here, I heard you and Matt talking about the hockey that's just getting underway. I think Team USA and Team Canada in Boston. So I think that'll be on one of the TVs. But that was one of the questions here, more of a comment about it. But then I heard you talking a little bit. I agree with you. It's live, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, do you get a chance? Probably not during the season because you're playing at the same time. But locally, the Syracuse Crunch when they're playing.
I have not. I have not gone to one of those games. I would like to get to one of those games. But it's just it's not on my. It's not for me. It's not on my radar right now.
This question here, and again, the report today about the lawsuit settlement, that if it is settled by spring, and then you'll be able to. The university will be able to pay players directly, et cetera, up to like $20.5 million, I think is the cap on that.
Yeah.
And the question was, do you know what percentage of that from the NCAA ruling would come to men's hoops?
I think every school will make a decision on that. I think from that aspect, but those are still preliminary discussions, and I think every school they have the ability to kind of do what they how they choose how they want to spend their money, and they can allocate it to all their programs. So obviously it'll be, I'm sure everyone will have a different certain percentage that they'll use allocated for all their sports. I'm sure they'll break it up that way.
So there's no across the board what happens here will not be the same thing that happens
every
at
school.
BC
Every school will be
Texas
different,
or whatever.
Yeah, every school will be different. And some schools don't, I don't think every school will not, but some schools, you don't have to opt into it. You don't have to opt into the revenue sharing. What
would be a reason that a school might not?
I don't know.
Oh, but they don't have to. It's just like an option.
Right, and you don't have to use, the full amount as well.
Well, what happens to that full amount then? I mean, it's like the process.
Yeah,
there's a lot of processes
I don't
going.
know, but I'm just, from what I know a little bit, I'm trying to help.
Yeah, I know, and it just changes it almost day to day.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to stay on top of it,
Yeah.
and using the hockey comparison as far as everything being treated differently. I remember having a conversation with the guys from the Crunch, being an affiliate of the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Rochester Americans. Even though it's AHL, and it's all part of the same league, they run them separately or completely differently. Like the way they handle their health insurance for the players, everything like that is completely different. Even though it's
all
the same thing, you'd think it would be a similar thing, but they're all different.
And again, I think, and again, that's kind of what I'm hearing, but nothing is stone. I just think what I've heard is you have this pot of whatever it may be, and
whatever it is.
Some schools can say we're not going to use the whole amount. Some schools are saying we're going to use the whole amount. So everyone has the choices. We live in a world of choices.
There you go. This question, more of a statement, but I guess the question would be: any chance that at some point NIL donations would be tax deductible?
They are.
They are right now?
They are tax deductible depending on how you use it. Like if you use a company, if you have a company, you can write off for marketing. You get that marketing deduction. And then if you donate to a collective that is a 503c,
and that's a deduction.
And that's tax deductible. So you can donate to collectives, and the collectives, they all do a good job of being able to help our players and put our players in different situations.
Question here: the NCAA allows you to have 2 more assistant bench coaches than you presently have. Any chance, or have you thought about or talked about adding another 1 or 2 assistants?
Those are all discussions that I'll be having at the end of the year. I think every coach and every person, once your season ends, you reevaluate everything and you want to make it better and how you can make it better. And if, once I do all that, I'll be able to have a better, clear idea, if I want to use another coach or if I decide to use it, in a different person. I'm not sure yet. But I'll have once the year's over with, I'll have a chance to sit down and kind of reevaluate everything.
Going back to the most recent game at the Pittsburgh on the way back. Now, on the plane back at every away game, is that when you watch the game, because it's fresh, or you get home? Or depends.
It depends. I typically watch it on the plane, but the last game in particular, I watched that one probably on the way to the airport, and then I watched it in the air. Then I watched it while I was waiting to get my car, because it was one of those games where you felt like you felt like you had a chance to kind of pull that one out because of the way we, our offense, we shared it, we moved it. But when it came down to the second half, we, and we didn't finish in the 2-point range, but we had great shots. And that's frustrating. It was like sometimes it just comes down to makes and misses. And I felt like that was one of those games where like we had a chance to make a couple of shots, I think it would have extended the lead. It would have just kind of changed that whole second half.
And the plays themselves were actually working to get the guys open and the shots that you wanted, and just that part of it.
Yeah, we turned down like really good shots for great shots. I mean, we drove it. We attacked the press when they had it. We got, I think we scored, I think we got a driving kick for JC. Eddie, we got out of the short roll and got over to Chris. I mean, Chris had, numerous open looks, which was good. The ball just moved and popped. The offense was really good. It's just the second half, we didn't make the shots. And again, it wasn't like they were difficult shots. We created a lot of good open shots. So that's why I wanted to kind of watch it again, just to get a better feel. I mean, I watched it, I was coaching the game, but just sometimes, just to kind of look at it again.
This question here, again, kind of going back to the NIL and the payments, etc. Are you disgusted with the way college sports have changed?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the right word, but
I don't know. I wouldn't use disgusted, but it's. It's a lot of things that have changed. I mean, when you talk about obviously the NIL piece of it, obviously it was made with good intentions, but I think it's just all the other stuff like the transfer portal stuff. I think that's really obviously NIL is a part of it, but the transfer portal stuff, like where you constantly you rebuilding the team every year. I think it's just very hard to build now because you have a player for 8 months at a time. You have a team for 8 months at a time. You just never know what your team is going to look like. So I think those are some of the challenges. But it's just a different time, and everyone we are all going through it, and hopefully at some point we'll get the dust will settle and we'll have new college system.
That everybody understands all at the same time.
Everybody understand, and then everybody will be able to kind of get behind it and get back to having some type of normalcy.
Yeah.
Right now it's a lot going on in college.
Right when we were doing the switch over here with Matt's end of his 1 hour on the radio portion, and we're getting set up for here, a listener was up asking a question, and you're talking about it. And I don't know if we maybe brought it up a couple of weeks ago, but at some point having a 2-year commitment from a guy if he's going to come, is that still? Man, I think every other, again, it's just a lot going on as of right now. That's nothing, but I'm sure every school, or now that the schools can pay, I'm sure every school would love to have some type of commitment, some type of continuity, even if it's for 2 years. I'm sure that would be something that all schools would love to have. Again, this is it's a lot now. Each year, I keep saying, each year you are basically almost rebuilding a team. See this, and you may have talked about this in the first segment with Matt, and I missed it, but and I didn't hear any phone call from Steve from North Syracuse. Is he? And he wasn't doing it. I knew he wasn't feeling well a couple of weeks ago, but he was back. So somebody wanted to know if he had any nice words of encouragement for Steve in North Syracuse.
Do I have words of encouragement for Steve?
Is he? I don't know if he's feeling well.
I hope he's feeling well. If he's not, we're thinking about you and wishing you well, buddy.
Yeah, he's a diehard. He is a long time.
He's great. He's great.
But this question: how involved would John Wildhack be with the process at the end of the year? Is that something, is like a group thing when you said you evaluate or reevaluate at the end of the year? Is that something just on the coaching staff or the whole athletic department, or? No,
it's just my program. Obviously, if I want to, if I feel like I need some changes, obviously John would be the guy that I would, discuss it with, and try to explain to him why, and what, what I'm, my vision of, and what I need to be competitive. And obviously John is great, so it would, John would be involved, but it would really be me just kind of reevaluating my the program,
the process,
and everything, everything. Obviously, when you have a year like this, it's a lot to kind of try to, break down and try to make sure that we don't have this a reoccurrence. It cannot happen. And I'm pretty positive that it won't happen again. So.
Question here: what advantages would you say that Syracuse has over other teams that you can try to exploit to make a run at the end of the season?
I think the biggest thing with this team and what we've really struggled with is consistency. I think if we can consistently, play 40 minutes of basketball, whether and obviously that defending and obviously offensively. I think again we have guys that can score inside. We can rebound the basketball, and we have guys that can make shots. I think we do have a good mixture, and I just think everything just needs to come together, and it needs to be for 40 minutes and consistent. If it's not for 40 minutes, at least 35. 34, 35. Longer than 22 or 23.
It's like golf. It seems like sometimes you play around the golf and that round you putt well, but you can't drive. Yeah. And then the next time it goes the opposite. Yeah. You're driving down the middle and you're missing.
You need 2 out of the 3.
How about this one? Where do you rate, or how do you rate your walk-ons? And are they helping to make the other guys better?
I think our walk-ons are good. Walk-ons is a job that a lot of they do a lot. They sacrifice a lot, for not to play. I think our walk-ons have been very instrumental. And some maybe not, on a basketball court, but just more of the locker room or the leadership. We've got some senior leaders. We've had guys that have been here for a while, so their leadership, has been important.
Looking at the calendar from a year ago, like today's February 20th last year was against NC State. And I think it was 87-83.
Down at their place.
Yeah. So win. How many guys from that Wolfpack team are back this year?
They might have point guard, Taylor. They might have like three guys, maybe 3 or 4 guys. 3 or 4 guys, and 2 of them played a lot. The point guard and Taylor, they're off guard, and then I'm not sure how much the kid Breon Pass played because he was on that team too. I think they have 3. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Middlebrook. They got 4 guys.
4 guys.
4 guys that were on that team from last year.
I remember
Middlebrooks. I forgot about him.
This was a few years ago. Now, more than that, that Coach Boeheim said that at NC State there was always a person, a woman, or whatever that would scream or whistle or whatever it was, like during every timeout when you're trying to huddle. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I didn't see that lady. She probably left. She probably stopped when Coach stopped coaching. But I know. Yeah, I mean, it's some, Pittsburgh is like that, they get on you, They get on you pretty bad. They got me yesterday.
Did they?
Oh, yeah, they got me. Oh, yeah.
Was it? I mean, sometimes they're clever, so was this a clever one or was it like a rude one?
It was like a rude, clever one, and I somehow it just caught my ear. I typically don't, and it kind of caught my ear, and I kind of looked at him, and I just.
Was there anything that's arable, or is it more like a?
What? I don't think it was arable. Yeah, I don't think I can repeat it. But
okay, but it was. Like it was one of the ones after the fact where you kind of go, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Oh man, but I've gotten used to, blocking out and ignoring people.
Yep, you
I've gotten used to that. Yeah.
And a focus, and it comes with it, right?
It's part of it. Yeah, it's part of it. We signed up for it. I always say, and I tell our guys, this is what we signed up for. And I forgot. I was listening to it the other day. I said the fine print is, the criticism, and all that stuff. So it's part of it. And I understand it. And I really try to be there for my players. I really try to, let them understand that, passionate fan base and, everybody wants to win and, their frustrations, and that's what this space is for. And, whatever, again, you can't worry about that. Obviously. No. If you worry about everyone agreeing with you and liking with you, you'll never be happy in life.
That's true.
And everyone's not going to like you. Everyone's not going to agree with you. You just got to understand that. If you want to, what did somebody said that saying? If you want everyone to like you, go sell ice cream.
Yeah. That's and another along those lines. If you listen to the fans long enough, you end up sitting with them.
Yeah.
One recently retired Hall of Famer mentioned that more than one.
Yeah, he's right about that. He is right about that.
I'm serious. Is there what percentage of each game, Coach, or is there a percentage of luck involved in?
Yeah, man, you know what? It's the ball bounces a certain way, or a call goes a certain way. It's so many things that can change the game. I would say a little bit of luck. Yeah, sometimes you do get a little bit of luck. Yeah, every now and then things just kind of fall your way.
It's part of it.
Yeah,
it's how it bounces. Any chance that Coach and Mrs. compete in couples pickleball during the offseason? Are you a pickleballer?
No, my wife does it. I haven't picked it. I got to get myself going again.
Have you played it?
I have not. I've watched her play. It's pretty intense.
Good at it?
I'm not good at it.
She's good at it?
She plays it. I don't know if she's good at it. She would say she's good, but she plays it.
For our purpose, she's great.
Yeah,
for
she's
the purpose
great.
of
I got to go home and eat tonight, man.
Well, the off weekend this weekend for a game, obviously no game for you this weekend, but what are you going to be able to do with that time other than obviously break down tape and continue to plan? But do you get a little time to yourself?
No, I'll go get prepared for some for the team, the practices, and we'll have a couple of practices, but I'll give them a day or two off, a day off just to kind of reset and finish this last stretch. And I'm going to try to get down to D.C. for a couple of hours to watch my son play. They have a game on Saturday afternoon, so I'm going to try to do that and then get back and get ready for this final stretch.
And for the game Wednesday, NC State, anything different from a game plan?
They get up after you. They have multiple guards. They like to press. They like to push pace and score a lot of points. So, we have to be able to handle their pressure and play defense like we know how to. Hopefully for 40 minutes.
Coach, we'll see you back here next. Only two more after this, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Man, it's this time of year, between the weather and the season, it's all of a sudden, before you know it, it's March.
Yeah. So I look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Coach Red Autry, thanks. And then thanks everybody here on QSportsTalk.com. Back again next week, and go Orange.